Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 of this best of 2 series. It is, of course, MLPDota, joined by johnxfire. John, the draft, again, seems to be going relatively quickly, but I feel like I have time to ask you how the hell you're feeling.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm feeling good, Mike. Let me check behind me. The storm is passing, Mike. The storm is passing. I will live to see a house
Oh, good.
on my head by tomorrow morning. So I'm perfectly fine. I'm overjoyed that I get to keep my house from the storm.
Well, if I may, I'm glad that your house is going to be safe, John. I just looked at my phone, and I've been receiving messages from my bank which indicate that I'm probably, like, my card right now is probably getting fraud committed on it, which is not nice. But John, there's a game to cast, John. I don't have time to call the bank and tell them that my money's being stolen. This is more important. We're in our
Of course it is, Mike.
We're in the second game of Vici Gaming vs. EHOME. Grimstroke was the first pick, as you can see. Centaur and Lich with the follow-ups, and now we see the Sand King.
Well, it's an interesting opening from VG. I mean, we've seen the Grimstroke, like, what, 2-3 times now, Mike? Every single time the team that picks it up seems to never really maximize the hero. Like, it's strong in laning phase, but going beyond that, it seems to have a couple of issues that you really need to rectify. I feel like the pickup of Sand King does give them a bit more, though. Like, Vici Gaming does not just completely rely on a single target disable being chained with, with the ultimate coming out from Grimstroke. You do have the Sand King to hold people down in a larger area as well. But EHOME's opening is also very interesting. The Centaur Warrunner, who got a few reworks to his spells, and the Lich, who got reworked as well. I feel like that's a really potent lane combo, Mike. Just straight off the bat, if you run these two together, that lane is going to be hellish.
Yeah. To go back to your point, John, Grimstroke does currently have a 0% win rate in the DPL. You are absolutely correct. So we're still waiting to see when the first one will come along. Mind you, someone in chat did ask, when do the pros start using the new heroes in the new meta? It looks like they've just started. I mean, we've seen it the past couple days. Unfortunately, we did have a game just then, which was pretty old meta. But it's good to see that they're switching it up now. And so, the Grimstroke Sand King, Centaur Lich, another very annoying combination, John. That Frost Shield is the most obnoxious skill I've ever seen. It's like, if you have a Centaur just running in with that Frost Shield, like, they're going to get slowed down and you've just got basically a free hoof stomp available.
Yeah, it's really strong, and with the way, the damage coming out from Centaur has been kind of reworked with double edge, it should be interesting. And along with the return ore, right? You keep stacks up to amplify your own damage later on. You can really amp up the damage on your double edge later on. Along with that, slow, as you mentioned, it's just really potent just for that one combination. Whereas for Vici Gaming, you have really strong heroes. Sure, Grimstroke is great. Sand King is great. There's not a great amount of synergy coming out for these two heroes, I have to say. It's potent, but we still have to find something that ties this draft tightly, at least, or synergizes well. I sound like a marketing guy for a corporation, but they need something that synergizes like the Lich and Centaur Warrunner really synergize better.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what the further picks are now. Of course, EHOME, their decision right now to see what they get as the third pickup. And I am pretty curious and pretty, I want to see. I want to see something new. The Bounty Hunter is still available if someone wants to just start stealing gold off people. Of course, the Centaur, we don't really know what position it's going to be played in. Because of those changes, it's kind of like, is he going to be core? Is he going to be a support? Well, they go for the Winter Wyvern, which kind of indicates he'll be a core Centaur. But then again, you never really know in this patch. And then, of course, Vici Gaming, they'll take the Rubik for themselves, which, when there's a Winter Wyvern, you just can't blame them.
I think that's interesting. I think the Rubik actually does kind of tie this draft up together for Vici Gaming. A lot of good spells to steal from EHOME and, maximize with a Grimstroke. Chain Frost is pretty much the biggest one. If you can steal it off Lich, it's going to be amazing seeing that bounce around twice over. The Winter Wyvern, probably not. Splinter Blast would be interesting to see being cast, I have to say. But I feel like the Rubik gives so much more with the Grimstroke while not going all in on that Grimstroke. You're not relying entirely on grabbing two very good heroes in his ultimate. If you're not relying too heavily on him getting that beautiful ink swell off, you do have the Sand King anyway. Like if the ink swell fails, the Sand King can. He's probably going to be holding that ink swell anyway, right? It's probably going to be on him. He's going to jump in. You have pretty potent combos coming out. It ties in this first few picks for VG. I feel EHOME going a bit icy here. It is wintertime and well, in certain parts of the world. Lich, Winter Wyvern, really good sustain, good healing, good damage coming out. Very potent team fights. I have to say it's okay.
Ooh.
Okay, now it's looking a bit scary, Mike. I have to say EHOME, Bristleback, and Lich with his rework, and the sustain from Winter Wyvern. It's a bit strange though. You don't see Centaur Warrunner and Bristleback together in the same team all too often. But the tankiness of this combination is actually pretty terrifying.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, with the Frost Shield giving you 60% reduced physical damage or reduced income, you know what I mean, John? Basically, it reduces incoming physical damage. Well, I don't know why I can't say that, but Bristleback with the Frost Shield basically becomes unkillable. It's just... Yeah, this is actually pretty scary because they don't have much magic damage on the side of Vici Gaming. Like, not substantial amounts, like not bursts that they need. And if he just goes for a Hood of Defiance, it just feels like there's no way you take this Spruce back down.
You do have a couple of options open for Vici Gaming. I think Lena's probably going to be an interesting one, just going pure magic damage all in there. It is... Oh my goodness, yes, finally it's here. I'm excited. You can tell. I'm bloody excited for this one, Mike. PA. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Out of all the heroes that got reworked, PA not coming out, and the Troll as well, which still hasn't come out, but this time we get to see the PA, Mike. It's one of my favorite heroes because it's just so fun, isn't it? I mean, I mainly play support, but it's so fun when you get to pick core and you take this kind of core, which just one-shot supports, and the other guy on the other side is just screaming in pain. It's my kind of fun, Mike. I feel like its changes are rather interesting. It's almost like a free smoke when you toggle it on. And it's kind of broken because you can jump in outside of the break distance of that smoke on yourself. So the potential for big surprises are there for VG. I think the plan here is to maybe start with a PA and then have the Sand King follow up, just to really tie in. Or, have Sand King jump in like sort of bait. Have someone bait, basically. Have PA stand back and just have her jump in afterwards. Just follow up with the Sand King. It's going to be terrifying. You have the Grimstroke Swell to ink swell her up. She won't be able to attack her, but, she's going to be able to get in there and do a lot of work, I think. It's a bit interesting picking it into these really tanky heroes, because, again, PA is a physical damage carry. She mainly deals it with right clicks, not really spell usage. And you're playing against a Bristleback and a Centaur. And a Lich, who has a lot of, damage modifiers now. So I'm interested to see if this is going to pay off. I'm excited to see it, but honestly, I have to tell you, I feel like it's not going to do too much, especially since EHOME did ban out the Lena that I said would probably fit in VG's lineup.
Well, at the very least, John, we're in for a treat here. Like, we haven't seen either the Bristleback or the PA. Puck does come out. I don't feel like that's the hero they wanted to provide that magical burst. But look, we never know, right? We've got to wait and see how this pans out. Certainly, EHOME do look very, very scary right now. There's no lying about that. It's just going to be fun to watch. It's good when you can get excited about watching a game of Dota. And this patch definitely offers that, especially when they go for drafts like these. EHOME, how do they finish it out? What's left for them in that mid lane up against the Puck?
I was going to say this would have been a better hero than Puck, Mike. The Bean of Pain would have been much nicer than the Puck to have in that mid lane. It would easily eat through the Bristleback and the Centaur, pure damage, going right through most of their natural tankiness. I'm not sure how it interacts with Lich's Frost Armor damage reduction in more, that pure damage, but it will at the very least eat through Bristleback and Centaur quite well. I'm surprised that VG went for the Puck. I think that leash is pretty good for teamfight. No, you can't TP out anymore, of course, and your options are limited to escaping. And you have the combination with the Sand King, a lot of real innate mobility for VG. But EHOME has some really tanky heroes. They are pretty much going all in on Queen of Pain for early game damage. and maybe Centaur Warrunner when he gets max stacks on his new reworked return. So we'll have to see. This is a very interesting, very different draft coming out for Game 2, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be a fun one. I think I'm most intrigued. I think we're both most intrigued to see this PA in Bristol and see what they can get done. That Bristleback, though, if he gets a good start, it's going to be so hard to burst him down with that Frost Shield. Then you've got a Wyvern as well in the back lines. She's got the Cold Embrace to heal him up. Like, don't forget, like, they've got all these counters to physical damage, and they still decided we're going to go PA on Vici Gaming. I can't wait to see what the game plan is here from Vici Gaming. But there is a hell of a lot of counters already available on the side of EHOME if they do wish. Well, they don't even have to wish, John. They have them. So, we'll see how this goes. Game number 2, of course, EHOME trying to tie this up 1-1. Vici Gaming, if they do pull this win off, they will leave the series 2-0. Let's see how it goes.
I'm just happy to see PA in this tournament, Mike, because I was worried we weren't going to get to cast a PA game.
Yeah.
And we get it here in day 3 from VG against, in my opinion, one of the worst lineups to play PA against. You know, that Queen of Pain is there. You're going to be copying a lot of damage from that Sonic Wave and, just the magic damage coming out of that Queen of Pain. I mean, PA does not scale well with with HP on her level. She only gains 2.2 strength per level. Not the worst gain, but still, when it's not too much as well. You're not the tankiest core. So you will have to watch out when that crop jumps in.
Oh, Inkswell, Faith Beyond, he's gone too far right now. The Hoof Stomp does come out. That might save him. But there's still 3 heroes hitting on him right now. Paparazzi body blocking him up. Excuse me, body blocking him up. My goodness, John, I'm just mixing up all the words today. Winter Wyvern, though, will make a run for it. And they might find a secondary kill right now. He actually just didn't make a blatant run for it. He was trying to juke them around the tree line. He waited way too long, and that's going to be 2 kills going to the side of Vici Gaming.
2 kills I don't think they needed to give away, really. I mean, sure, these heroes, the lineup of EHOME is fairly straightforward and tanky, but, you need a few levels to be really that big of a threat. The Centaur with level 1 stop is, of course, not doing as much compared to level 3 Centaur, who probably goes 1-1-1. And that's when you really come online. Your level 1 isn't amazing. A bit of an overextension from EHOME. But, yeah, 2 kills early game. Sure, it's a rough time, at very least. You didn't waste too much regen, I hope, on EHOME's side.
Hopefully. They did get 2 bounty runes each anyway, so still a relatively even start. We already see the Frost Shield being leveled up straight away, though Yang, of course, goes for that Sandstorm at level 1 and can just sit in there, just CS very, very safely as that Sand King. There's really not much you can do about him. Actually, this Wyvern again, John, forced the Fairy Fire up and actually salving now just to heal himself up, but copped a lot of damage from DY on this Grimstroke. And you really cannot underestimate how much damage that Inkswell does, especially if he managed to stay near you the whole time.
Yeah, you really, again, Grimstroke is really strong in that laning phase, just pumping out so much damage from fairly safe distance, or can really cover and escape with that Inkswell, so you kind of have to watch out with how you trade, as, again, I feel like EHOME's heroes are stronger, in just naturally stronger. It just takes them a few levels. Definitely not the first 2 levels. Probably by level 4 is when you'd see Fate Beyond really start to pump out some of his own harass really well, along with the Winter Wyvern.
Well, there is a lot of action across the map. Like, every lane seems to be very aggressive towards each other. So it's one of those games we've got to keep a real close eye out on these HB bars. Faith Beyond might actually be in trouble. Inkswell will come out. Paparazzi makes the jump on with the Blink Strike, and Faith Beyond's probably dead here. Doesn't have Hoof Stomp available. He will try to go for DY, but DY actually walks out of there safely. And again, Faith Beyond, that's the 2nd death of the game for him. Paparazzi picks up his 3rd kill of the game 2 minutes in. And, I mean, if you were asking for a better start on PA, I don't know if you could find one.
You definitely won't. This is a really good start for PA. 9-0 in terms of last hits, not really being contested by the Centaur, not really feeling lane pressure as well. Sure, his support did waste quite a fair bit of his HP. He just regens back up, and what's Winter Wyvern going to do here?
Well, absolutely nothing, John. I don't know what the plan was there. Apparently she hasn't learned a lesson with the Inkswell yet. DY does teach him again, though. And I believe, was that the second? Yeah, that was the second death of the game for him. A 4-0 now for Vici Gaming. Look, you've got a great lineup for the mid game, but if you give PA everything she wants, I don't think even the Centaur and Bristleback are going to survive that.
Yeah, again, you have to watch out for how much you just give VG in the early game. They also come online pretty fast. Sure, EHOME does come online pretty fast, and it is still a PA going up against some pretty tanky strength heroes. No one really, I mean, you know, the course can't be bursted down by PA too early on, but they've given away so much in this lane phase. PA is now #1 in terms of last hit, 16-2. 3 kills on the board for PA, for Paparazzi, with no deaths, 1 assist even. And I don't see them zoning out Paparazzi anytime soon. It's just giving away a bit too much too early on.
Yeah. Every other lane still seems very even as well. Like, everyone's just trading farm on the other sides. Like, they are being aggressive towards each other, but it's that bot lane that just keeps giving lives away. We'll see if that does change anytime soon. But we also can't forget, in this new patch, hero kills mean so much more than what they used to. Right? Like, in the last 7.19, when you killed a hero, it was like, yeah, it was alright, but it was almost not worth making the trip to go get that kill unless it was really late game. But now, it means so much more XP and so much more gold for the person claiming the kill. You will see Paparazzi will start out-leveling these heroes if they die any further.
Definitely will, and he's already, again, he's had a pretty good laning start. He's got his 3 Wraith Bands up at 4 minutes in. That's a very impressive amount of farm. He's just going to be able to hit that much harder, really contest this last hits better, and tank a bit more damage from these from this dual lane, which is really not achieving too much anymore.
And here we go again. DY gets the Inkswell off, then it's an easy death for the Winter Wyvern. No real way to survive that. Like, once the Grimstroke is on you with brown boots and that Inkswell, you are dead. Faith Beyond going to try and make the chase now. He does have a Hoof Stomp available. Just wants that bounty rune, it seems. He will drop the Hoof Stomp. Maybe able to find the trade, but I think DY probably going to be okay with that. Like, he got the bounty rune. It's a lot of gold towards his team. Probably worth his death.
It feels like it overall. Mid lane, Ori's in a spot of trouble.
Yeah, ASD though, he's out of mana. Now the Inkswell again, DY, he just respawns and he will find a very nice pick-off in the mid lane. Man, he's making like, this is the best Grimstroke we've seen all tournament.
Oh,
so
it definitely
far.
is. After 3 days, after about 4 games, I think 3 games of Grimstroke, this is the most impressive laning phase we've seen so far. You know, this is really playing the hero at its near max potential. Of course, this is exactly what you want to see from the Grimstroke. Just making so many plays, really bullying out the lane when it's strong, buying so much space for your PA to farm up, and then, you know, Paparazzi's about to hit 6 at 6 minutes, Mike.
Oh my. I mean, look at his armor as well. He's sitting on 13 armor right now as a PA. Like, if it wasn't hard enough to hit the damn hero because of the blow, now you've got to go through that armor as well. It's just, with those 3 Wraith Bands, it just makes you so much tankier, and the damage increases, and the armor increases. It's just ridiculous. Right, Grimstroke, DY will end up falling mid lane. Looks like Ori was trying to go after ASD. Won't be so successful though. Now, we'll just have to walk his way out of there. Though he's still going to be chased down by this Wyvern and Y on that ledge. Now, oh my, that is unlucky.
God.
That is so unlucky.
Oh god. He popped this region as well.
Oh,
Unless it expired, he popped it too. Oh, that's unfortunate. He damaged the neutrals. They got, of course, they aggro to him. He sent his ball out that way. It hit the neutrals. They aggro up.
you know,
Just get rooted. That root interrupt, Mike.
yeah, as soon as I saw those ancients that he went into, I was like, oh, here we go. You know, if there's one thing that didn't get nerfed or buffed this patch, it's those damn ancients. They're just so powerful in the early stages of the game. Y will end up falling though. Fade will claim that kill for himself. But that was just hilarious, that puck. What do you do? We've all done it. It happens.
Dire's top
Nevertheless,
tower is under attack.
that does give a lot of space to ASD on that Queen of Pain to just start free farming up that mid lane. Ori certainly wants to get himself maybe a quick Veil and start making some rotations around the map as that Puck. Though, with that death, it will slow him down quite a bit.
He has been losing out in this mid lane as well. Queen of Pain ASD is ahead by a pretty good amount, 10 last hits ahead, and a significant amount of nice ahead for this Queen of Pain, so not having a good time.
Tower is under
So on Faith Beyond, we'll back off. We did see the rotation coming in from ASD. Now the Stampede comes in. They want Paparazzi pretty darn badly. Stroke of Fate goes in, trying to help him out. Paparazzi will blink strike to DY, though they still know exactly where he is, and this is a very nice pickup for them. Ori does come in on that Puck, but there's just not much he can do right now. Now the gaze coming out from Y. He does have the Dream Coil available. Doesn't want to chuck it out, though. He does finally throw it out. Faith Beyond may end up falling, although it may have been baited as well. Ori, nice dodge on that Sonic Wave, but he will end up falling regardless. And Fade now just trying to make a run for it. Scream will find him. ASD on a double. Oof, that looked very rough for EHOME. I mean,
Radiant's bottom tower is
look, they
under
got the PA. Excuse me, it looked like rough for Vici Gaming.
It definitely was. They lose 3 heroes under their tower. Not the best thing in the world. They just kind of stream in one by one. Paparazzi trying to make a play, but, you know, way too many heroes being committed for that rotation. Trying to jump the Bristleback now. Looks like it's working.
Yeah, he's actually very tanky right now, John. He didn't farm very well. We're 9 minutes in, he still hasn't got that Vanguard up. And with that, like, you've got 2 levels in Bristleback, sure, but you're still only level 7 in comparison. Like, sure, Paparazzi's still level 7 as well, but he's got the Coup de Grace. Does a hell of a lot of damage.
Definitely does. I'm a bit surprised by the item buildup coming from this PA for Paparazzi. He is going for the Battle Fury over, you know, something a bit more early game, something a bit more oriented towards just taking those early fights and objectives. He wants to go a bit farmy.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I do disagree with that item, the item choice. It just doesn't feel like it suits the meta at all. But we'll see how it works out for him. Bot lane, they might want to have a go. Yang moving forward. He doesn't actually have any levels in the epicenter yet. Mind you, though, he is now level 9. Significantly out-leveling the Bristleback. And ASD again finds DY on that Grimstroke.
tower is under attack.
So at the very least, ASD doing a lot of work on this map. So they will make their way again down to that bot lane. They want Yang. It's going to be a lot of gold from that Sand King if they can find him, although they may just run into Fade, and in fact they ping him out. They know exactly where he is. ASD just runs in, the Scream does connect, Sonic Wave does barely connect, but can they get the final right click? No, they can't. The Stampede is there, he does get the Scream though, but now Ori's here. He gets his revenge finally on that Queen of Pain. That is certainly not worthwhile for the side of EHOME. And I think Vici Gaming are going to be very, very happy about that.
Very happy indeed. I mean, getting that kill on the Queen of Pain was pivotal, especially since it was Ori that cleaned up. So he gets the gold. He's not been having a good time on his Puck, trailing behind the Queen of Pain by 200 gold. But everyone else on VG Gaming is doing fairly well for themselves. In the lead, but not by a super significant amount at this point in the game. Still a nice start for VG so far after a couple of fairly messy exchanges. They do come out on top in the end.
This Bristleback does finally have a Vanguard up. We'll see how long it does require, like how much time he requires to farm up, because like we just saw, he's really not as tanky as we would have thought, but again, he didn't have that Vanguard up at the time. Does seem like he's probably very reliant on the Lich to be around him as well with that Frost Shield to make him even tankier. But we'll see. Dream Coil is there onto ASD. Yang is rotating around as well. And, well, the Queen of Pain really can't get out of this one. They commit the Epicenter for this one. He does manage to blink out. Now the Hoof Stomp comes out as well. Ego will run in. The Quill Sprays are there. Yang should just end up bowling. Meanwhile, ASD chasing Ori on that Puck. Yang somehow still alive throughout all this. He does have a Vanguard, so he's tankier than you'd expect. John, I feel like if you just right-click instead of throwing out that epicenter, he probably would have found that kill.
It might have been, yeah. It seemed a bit odd. I guess he was worried about the follow-up from Centaur, maybe trying to go a bit greedier, hoping that they could burst him down as well with the epicenter. But not quite enough damage coming out, and a missed opportunity. Again, that Queen of Pain is probably one of your top targets right now. Just keeping them down, making it harder for the Queen of Pain to come back up, is pretty pivotal, because then he'd be fighting the Bristleback, he'd be fighting with the Fate Beyond Centaur for farm, and it gets really tight after a while trying to farm for these 3 heroes, so all of them are shut down. So you do want to keep ASD down. I think one interesting thing so far, Mike, the itemization for both Centaur and Bristleback are kind of the same. They both just have Vanguards for the most part. Centaur doesn't have the bracers, but hey.
ASD, Dream Call won't be there. Oh, he throws it out too late. Again, like, the smoke breaks on DY, but there's just hesitation. They hesitate for a bit too long, and, well, ASD just blinks out of there as soon as he sees the orb coming out. Now we see Yang and Ego at the bot lane just farming up again against each other. Neither one really seems concerned. In fact, Yang will just Burrow Strike and start right-clicking this Bristleback and doing a fair bit of damage as well. Apparently,
Yeah, he doesn't look too concerned. I mean, that Sandstorm damage is pretty significant. The fact you can still right-click in it, apply Caustic Finale, and just kind of slow them down and annoy them while in that AoE, it makes the pain for melee heroes to really contest.
Well, both teams right now 9-8. They seem quite happy to just farm up. I say that though, EHOME may get aggressive. They've smoked up. They want to go for Yang. Can they get the initiation they need? They get started, and it looks like they probably will just burst him down. Although he does have help in the form of Rubik. Now the Burrow Strike as well. Sonic Wave now. 4-man Dream Core comes out. But the Winter's Curse was there. And Ori cannot follow up. The Chain Frost still bouncing around between them. The Soulbind was there, but it doesn't really do much. 3 heroes go down from the side of Vici Gaming. ASD now moving even more forward, trying to find Ori again. And you know what, John? I've got to tell you. The thing is, like, they got the kill on the Sand King, but man, it took them a long time to burst him down.
It definitely did. It feels like Yang is definitely tankier than he seems, just with that Vanguard. He does have 2k HP, and that level talent really helps out as well, so I guess that's something you do have to keep in mind. Yang now just going down at that bot tower to defend by himself. That's how brave he is, Mike. Look at this. They're not even coming up. It's just a Sandstorm in him.
The Cold Embrace, the Siege Creep. Nobody's going to really stick around to protect it. I think he got one more hit in, thanks to that Cold Embrace. It's just funny, right? Like, they committed 5 heroes to take down a Sand King in this patch. And it looked like they were almost about to not get it. If Ori was there just a bit earlier on with that Dream Call, they may have not gotten away with it.
Yeah, definitely so.
It's kind of insane.
It really is. I think that's something you have to look back at.
DY, Sinister Gaze was there. He will try and fight this one out. The Soulbind gets thrown out onto the Wyvern. He is completely alone, but he's trying his best, and he's doing a decent job of it, but he will eventually end up falling. Meanwhile, bot lane, I thought Yang was having a go at Ego, but he won't bother. And while all this has been happening, Paparazzi, he does manage to get a Battle Fury up at a pretty decent time of 16.5 minutes, especially considering he does have the Treads and 3 Wraith Bands. I mean, I guess if there's any game to go PA Battle Fury, like if you're going to get it this fast, why the hell not?
It is a good timing for it. I think this is a pretty justifiable pickup since it's picked up so early. I'm just slightly worried about their damage output. I have to say, I mean, you are writing off the PA for the damage. With change of cleave mechanics, you're actually not going to be slicing through the armor just by cleaving someone who's got low armor. It's going to be reduced anyway, so I'm curious to see how the damage output of Paparazzi will be with this build. He did switch out to BKB for Desolator, which I do like. I feel like he definitely needs a touch of that minus armor, Mike.
No, certainly so. See how long it does take him to farm that up there. We'll go for a smoke attempt on the side of Vici Gaming. Who do they really find, though? Like, nobody's around them at the moment. Although, as I say that, Faith Beyond runs into the mid lane. Does have that Blink Vanguard up. But Ori is there with the Dream Call. And now, is there going to be rotations fast enough? Not when he gets crit like that, though. Winter's Curse comes in. ASD, a very nice lineup for the Sonic Wave, and he will not actually throw it out. Ori just trying to back out of it. The Soulbind is on the Brisback, slowing him down a lot. Now the Sonic Wave comes out, but still Paparazzi. He's making a run for it. The Urn is healing him up throughout all this, and Fade comes in, lifts up the Queen of Pain. They actually cannot find the kill on the PA. And they keep going. The Burrow Strike here. Now Yang has joined in. They'll find one. DY picks that one up. Now the Chain Frost. It won't bounce to Paparazzi. This is the luckiest man in Dota right now. And now Y gets jumped on the Paparazzi. The Chain Frost does end up bouncing finally to him, but the Urn will heal him up throughout all this. Ori ends up finding the Winter Wyvern. And suddenly, John, there's 4 heroes down on the side of EHOME.
It was a pretty messy team fight. They almost had Paparazzi. Couldn't quite chase up him. Just there was one point where he's about, I want to say around 80 to 100 HP, maybe even less. And he just managed to slide out, just like that. And because they kept trying to chase that PA down, just didn't work out. I think they did expend Winter's Curse there a while ago, right? On Paparazzi. That was not the right target. You want someone Paparazzi's next to you, so Paparazzi kills them. The puck will not right-click down a PA. It was a pretty good lineup, but the follow-up wasn't there after.
Bot lane now. Faith Beyond is getting jumped by 2 supports. Ori will join in. Winter's Curse does come out. They do want to back Faith Beyond up, but he looks like he's probably dead. No, the Frost Shield, it does save him from that final right click. The Dream Call does not connect, and now the Hoof Stomp. Faith Beyond is still alive somehow. Though, look at that. The Burrow Strike onto 3 heroes. Yang has found all of them, John, with that Epicenter. It was just absolutely fantastic. Oh,
that was out
my.
of nowhere.
Under attack.
Out of nowhere. First, it was just a fight with the 2 supports,
Dire's middle tower has
and then you have the puck come in, and then it starts to look bad, and suddenly Yang is just there. He doesn't even have a blink mic.
My goodness. Yang doesn't require a blink. Apparently, if you give Yang a Sand King, he'll be perfectly fine the way he
Dire's
is.
structures are fortified.
You leave this man alone. Just start hitting up on the tier 1 tower by himself now.
Middle tower is under
Strong, independent Sand King.
Absolutely. This is the sort of push you expect from your Sand King. Of course. Very strong pushing hero.
Dire's bottom tower.
And there you go. Now he has his blink. So if that's what he can do without the blink mic, I'm very worried for EHOME to see how Yang does against him with that blink.
Well, the thing is, John, it's been so long since we've seen Sand King in the patch that you almost forget that in these team fights, you've always got to be wary of the fact that he might just come out of nowhere and completely team wipe you, which he just did.
Oh yeah, I mean, I did not expect that. I was just keeping an eye on the fight, completely missed the minimap, and suddenly Yang's just there. I'm like, wait, what? He was at mid last I checked. They were all at mid, except for the supports and Puck. And that was just really good. They managed to hold that fight out long enough to get Yang in to clean up, and boy, was it a big cleanup.
Yeah, now they're going to go for more Vici. They do smoke up. Deso is available on Paparazzi, so he does... Well, he has the ability to fight a bit better now.
Dire are
Definitely
scanning.
contributes a bit more, though. Smoke on smoke. They have the uphill advantage on EHOME. There is a double hoop stomp at Yang. The Burrow Strike again. Now the Epicenter. He does channel it all the way. Though where's the damage? It's not really coming in. That Shrine is healing them all up right now. Dream Call is there with the Winter's Curse onto the puck. But the double Burrow Strike. Yang is still alive throughout all this. Still trying to make a run for it. Though Faith Beyond will clean him up. Ego can't really do much on this Bristleback. He's honestly not dealing much damage. Although Paparazzi will end up falling. The Stroke of Fade in the backline's coming out, but not connecting on anyone. And now Fade, he does actually steal the blink. Can he make his way out of here? The Great Escape. The answer is yes. They'll just leave him be.
That was pretty confusing as a team fight. Smoke on smoke, of course, but, EHOME had a high ground, Mike. EHOME had a high ground. They forced the fight into that high ground. It looked like it was amazing coming out from Yang again. Beautiful setup. He just managed to freely channel that epicenter, but they were fighting under a shrine. That's a bit too much regen, and Paparazzi couldn't jump in because the Winter's Curse was still running. He's just kind of stuck in that low ground. By the time he came in, we saw ASD just jump in and burst him down with that Sonic Wave. Again, that's the issue of PA, right? Not much HP. You really have to watch out for magic damage as well. And it looks like Paparazzi is working towards that BKB next, which should help him with surviving. Although, again, that Scream of that Sonic Wave is pure damage, so you will have to watch out anyway.
But they do end up finding the Wyvern bot lane. So Ori and Fade keeping up a bit of aggression, though mid lane. Maybe an engagement here onto Ego. Burrow Strike does come out. Ego doesn't really have much help around him. He's only got the Lich. Though that's pretty much all he needs with the Frost Shield. But I'm going to be honest, John, like, even if Ego does turn into a real tanky, you know, son of a gun, it's kind of like he's not dealing any damage. It just, you don't feel his presence at all in these team fights. And now look at Yang. He's stealing all the Ancients off him. Stealing all the neutrals. Ego, the Frost Shield is there to help him out. They are taking the Roshan while all this is happening, mind you. It's almost pretty much gone, in fact. Paparazzi with that Desolator. Ori is there with the right clicks. In fact, Ori now has a Dagon available. And they'll just claim it for free.
First Roshan of the game at 23 minutes in. Does go to the PA, who does really need it. I mean, that second life's going to do much more on that PA. And, you know, level 18 now, so that's level 3 coup de grace. You do have a lot more damage coming out. And, you know, I start to get a bit worried for EHOME. As you mentioned, they do seem to lack damage. They're riding entirely on ASD to burst everyone down. The Bristleback isn't just pumping it out right now. I mean, it's bad enough that Yang feels confident enough to just contest him in his own jungle.
Ori, double damage. Gonna run into ASD. ASD will blink right past him. Meanwhile, mid lane. Ego again, showing himself. Stampede comes out. They are trying to go into Ori, who has found himself in a bit of a pickle, though. Fade is there. Stole what looks like the double edge. And they will actually take down the Queen of Pain, though Ori has his life lost. Stroke of Fate will not reach, believe it or not, and Faith Beyond will blink out of there. Though no TP available, apparently. Doesn't even have one. Doesn't need one. Fade does find him. Hoof Stomp is there. Lift is available. Yang comes in with the Burrow. Sandstorming it up. Lift him up. The silence is there. I mean, it's going to take a while, but they'll get him eventually. Stroke of Fate somehow misses, though. And Faith Beyond. Hoof Stomp.
Oh.
Come on. Oh, come on now. Burrow Strike is there, and they will take him out. My goodness. They do.
That's a good effort from Fate Beyond. Good effort from him. He does fall in the end, but oh man. Look at this point. I just forget how annoying pushing against Liches with that Frost Armor. I mean, the wave just takes so much damage from that.
Yeah.
It's obnoxious. Imagine if this game goes long enough and we see Lich get that 25 tap.
Yeah.
I don't think the game would ever end.
Yeah, let's not forget that there's a plus 60 HP regen, which was doubled from the last patch.
Exactly.
Because, you know, what was the reason behind that again, John?
LSD while making patch? Probably.
Here you go. Trying to pick up a Radiance for himself, John. He's got the recipe now. They will go to that mid lane. BKB, though, up on Paparazzi. Still has that Aegis as well. They may just want to wait for that BKB to come out on the courier first before they engage, but Yang just stands there looking at him.
I think one key item coming out for EHOME soon is Fate Beyond's Heaven's Halberd. The PA is definitely going to be caught off guard by that, and if she can't attack, well, she can't really do anything right. So once Fate Beyond gets the gold to finish that up, at just about 700 gold away, it's going to be big.
Yeah, the Frost Shield, though, was there to help out Ego, and now the double Dream Call as well. EHOME, they look like they're in a bit of trouble, though. Ego's still relatively healthy. They will take down Y. Ego is so slow because of that Soulbind. There will be a dieback coming out of the Lich, but now the epicenter comes in from Yang. Ego's still surviving with that Cold Embrace. The man is still alive, but he's done really nothing in this team fight quite yet. Paparazzi, though, about to fall himself. Now they are going for that Wyvern, who will eventually end up dropping to the Sandstorm. Aegis has been expended. Meanwhile, in the back lines, Ori fighting it out. Gets Y. ASD just trying to make a run for it. Stroke of Fate does connect, and the Burrow from Yang. It will also connect, and that's 3 down. I believe there was also a dieback coming out onto Y on that Lich, if I am correct. And it was indeed. So a 2 for 3 trade.
Yeah, and this really opens up that high ground for VG Gaming. I think they shouldn't be too scared about taking that now.
They're going after Ego. Those crits, my goodness. Hoof Stomp comes in. Faith Beyond, that's all he can do to help out Ego, and you know, Ego doesn't really seem that tanky, John.
I have to say I agree with you. It's surprising, but despite all, you know, despite everything he has, he's still melting to the PA.
Faith Beyond.
It's
Double hoof stomp. Dreamcaller comes out though. I mean, he still needs to wait 5 seconds for that Queen of Pain. Yang may play around with him. Burrow Strike's available, but they're hesitating to jump on Faith Beyond. They've already got that melee racks though, so why even risk it? And they will choose not to. They will back off the safety, and well, Vici Gaming, 28 minutes into this game, they will find the first racks of the game, and they have a net worth lead of 12k their way. Very nice indeed.
yeah, good spot to be in for VG right now. They're just gonna probably try to secure Roche, which may respawn in 3 minutes. We're gonna find out. I think one thing, you know, we're watching out for that Heaven's Halberd coming out for Fate Beyond on the side of EHOME. The next big pickup for VG is that Basher on the PA, because, you know, Paparazzi did go for the triple strike stifling dagger, right? So you have 3 chances to stun someone. With, you know, you have a chance to stun 3 people basically with that dagger once you have that Basher. And once that stun comes out, you know Paparazzi's just gonna jump in with a BKB. Bottled up a double damage rune as well, so looks like they might find something here, Mike.
Yep, Paparazzi gonna be hitting like an absolute truck. They found Y as well. Burrow Strike comes out. The Stampede was there to help. I don't know if he gets out of this one, and they commit the Dream Call. Just in case. It definitely wasn't necessary because the dagger was flying out, but nevertheless, they know Stampede's down now. With that, they'll go for the Shrine. Bot lane, well, they will TP down and push that out. They're also looking for that Wyvern who has been split pushing this whole time to ensure they can't take that final tier 2 off the map. But again, we landed in the same situation with EHOME, right? The first game, their draft was like, if you struggle during the early game, you're pretty much screwed in the late game. It kind of feels like the same thing with this draft.
Pretty much. EHOME's draft does come online in that early to mid game. And, you know, VG's does kind of focus on that as well. I think it's just that as you go on, the value of that Bristleback could potentially just dwindle a bit. The Queen of Pain definitely dwindles down in terms of her raw damage. She goes into a more futility here with her talents as well. So they start to taper off in damage. They are pretty tanky, but not tanky enough apparently to stand up to Paparazzi's PA. And, you know, I guess the saving grace is if that this game goes long enough, maybe the 1 hour mark, your lich would probably be 25, and you'd have that talent to really just make sure we never go home.
Nobody wants to go home, John. Everyone wants to see this game last forever.
You and I both, Mike.
Looks like there will be a split push coming out from ASD. But Dream Call there from Ori. He wants to stop the TP rotation from ASD just in case. They both use each other up, apparently. I'm not sure where the secondary use came from.
I believe it was it Purge off? No. Huh, what? Maybe ASD was scared of follow-up at that exact moment, although it did come anyway, just a bit later.
Maybe he was jealous and he wanted to fly too.
I wish I could fly, Mike.
Don't we all, John?
Absolutely.
Bot lane, Yang, starting up the push again. I mean, he's just running in.
Funny. Yeah, it's funny how brave he is. He's just walking up there and no care in the world, just pops the sandstorm every time.
Yeah, well, they jump in now. Dream Call is not available for another 5 seconds, but they don't even need it. This Winter Wyvern is melting and she is gone. Now, are they going for more? The Chain Frost is out. Paparazzi, though, does not give a crap about that. He has a BKB. Epicenter will be there, and they will end up finding Ego as well. And Yang still has half his HP left, apparently. He'll just walk out of there. I didn't realize the Sand King was this tanky, John. But apparently Sand King is a legit hero right now.
He is very tanky. I mean, we were talking about EHOME's draft being super tanky with at Centaur with the Bristleback. They're scared of the Sand King, Mike. They're scared of the Scorpion.
I don't quite understand it though. He has a Crimson Guard and Pipe, fair enough. Now he has a Lotus Orb, but I don't understand how someone gets this tanky off those two items. Like, we've seen these two items come out over and over again on tanky off lanes, and it's never been this bad.
I think it comes down to possibly his level 10 talent really giving him a lot of HP early on. That's 200 HP at level 10. That's pretty big, Mike. That's more than significant for a hero like Sand King. That just allows him to tank up, contest places where he shouldn't be able to contest. And I think Yang has just played it really well. He knows how far he can take the hero. He knows that he can bully people out just by standing in that sandstorm.
Well, they found Faith Beyond with the Dream Coil. Or when he actually runs out of it just barely as well. Goes for the Hoof Stomp. ASD is there to try and help out. Sonic Wave not coming out quite yet. Now the Chain Frost. It's a lot of damage, John. Sonic Wave is there. They're not down yet, but that Soulbind keeping him in place. And now the double Burrow Strike comes out from Yang. Sonic Wave was also stolen by the Rubik, who does throw it out just because. Why the hell not? My goodness. I mean, John, this is potentially the first Grimstroke game that's going to be a winner. How exciting.
Yeah. I'm very excited. It's something I was looking for. Again, we kept mentioning that the pros were still trying to figure out how to really maximize this hero. I think this is how you do it. You have someone who can still control team fights without depending on that Soulbind, but you also have to have heroes that benefit from that Soulbind. Rubik's one of those, especially when you're playing against Lich. You steal that Chain Frost, cast it yourself. You saw what happened when he casted that Chain Frost under Soulbind.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. Pretty balanced, I want to say. And here comes our tank, Yang, just moving in on the tier 3 tower. Ego staring at Yang, wishing he was like Yang in terms of tankiness. Now gets jumped on. Burrow Strike is there. There was a Dream Coil on the back lines, and the daggers start coming out. Soulbind as well. Why? Sinister Gaze will not help him. Faith Beyond jumps in with the Hoof Stomp, but cops a lot of damage. And looks like he's down as well. The Ink Swell was there, and this could just be GG. Ego, he gets melted as well. No buyback available on the Bristleback. They call GG, John. I don't know what to say. Vici Gaming, they showed up to play today, and they did a fantastic job. And I'm not even going to ask you who the MVP is, because the answer is Yang.
Yeah, 100% it's that pesky Scorpion. He made Sand King look tankier than Centaur. Look tankier than Bristleback. He went into the enemy jungle while Bristleback was farming with a Lich and drove him out just by turning on that damn W in the same area. And it's like, well, you want last hit, you last hit. I'll last hit with you. You'll just be taking 100 damage per second. And of course, Bristleback has to back out. But I think that's, Sand King is one hero we definitely, it just definitely sealed the game for Vici. I had my doubts about that draft, I'll be honest. When I saw that PA come out into the Bristleback and the Centaur, I was worried that, that reliance on physical damage from the crits coming out for Paparazzi would hurt them, but they buy enough space for Paparazzi to just farm up. Yang manages to make so much space around the map, along with DY really and Fade, just doing so much across that map, forcing rotations, taking the pressure away from Paparazzi so he can farm up.
Yeah.
And then once he's farmed up, he just comes in.
Well, on that note, we will go into our next series of the night, John. It will actually be PSG LGD versus a team called Tai Chi, which honestly, to be frank with you, John, I've never heard of them before. I believe they're relatively new in the region. In fact, I'm just having a look to see who they consist of, and it does look like they picked up the old side of Vici Gaming Potential when those new changes came in with the new season. So we'll see how they go. They are going to be placed up against probably the hardest team in the whole tournament, which is PSG LGD. And we'll see what they can do. I mean, it is a new patch, so anything's possible. But for now, it is MLPDota. It's johnxfire. We'll be back with you guys in hopefully a few minutes to see how this next series goes. Won't be too long, guys.